This is the Transformers Studio Series figure number 109 from the movie Transformers Bumblebee. We have Leader Class, the concept art Megatron as how he would have appeared in the movie had he appeared in the movie. Concept that the producers, the designers in the movie were thinking of, and Hasbro decided to turn it into an action figure. I've been anxious to get this figure for some time now, and I picked up this figure from Our Toys. This is a figure that, you know, I at certain times I love, and a lot of times I hate. So is it fair to say that this is a figure that I love to hate? Well, first off, I think it's a good concept. This is how the movieverse or Bayverse or live action Megatron should have looked like. He shouldn't have looked like some overgrown Cybertronian frost giant from Jotunheim. The figure in robot mode is all praises for me. It's got great articulation, great proportions, the silhouette's great, the design is just absolutely gorgeous. Plastic quality, I'm not even gonna go there because it is sound, very, very solid plastic. It doesn't even feel like a Studio Series figure. We'll talk about that later. However, the engineering that went to it, which they claimed to have gotten all the budget, that's why it's a small leader class figure. The whole jet mode and tank mode, I think, was a little over designed. I think they went way too much with it, and it kind of ruined the figure for me. So let's get a few things out of the way. Plastic quality, absolutely solid plastic. It feels like a legacy figure. Not at all the craptastic, light, bendy, soft plastic we get from Studio Series figures. Very well done. Great paint apps. Paint apps are just immaculate. Even the plastic color that they use, everything about it, even the light gray pieces, black pieces, just amazing choice of color. Even the light gray bits are pretty good. They don't look cheap. There's some pieces with silver metallic paint apps that are just great, and I think they got the right amount of paint apps for this figure. Even the feet. Could have painted the gun though. It's molded in gray and dark gray plastic. That could have used some silver and gunmetal gray, but okay. Head sculpt is beautifully sculpted. It's kind of giving off that really creepy vibe. Had this been the Megatron head sculpt we had for the first 5 movies, I mean, come on. That would have been really something. It would have brought a lot of G1 nostalgia with it. The silhouette of the figure, great proportions. I love it. There's hardly any kibble. All the gaps have sort of been filled in. Nothing to complain about. Articulation for the figure, it's got a ball-jointed neck. You got a waist swivel. Shoulders, tons of joints right here. Allow you to move the arms in and out, forward and backward 360. You've got some butterfly joints right there. Very cool. She's got a bicep swivel. Forearm swivel, hinge elbow that bends more than 90 degrees. You've got a swivel wrist, a little bit of a hinge that go in and out because of transformation. And you've got articulated fingers. The index finger is separate from the rest of the other 3 fingers. Thumb doesn't move though. Hips allow the legs to do the splits, go forward and backward. There are hinges on the hip attachments that allow you to articulate the legs, get them out of the way, and put them back in place to complete the whole look. Thigh swivel, hinge knees that bend more than 90 degrees. Feet can go up and down and have the rocker tilt. The figure comes with his fusion cannon, as I mentioned earlier, and you can move the cannon this way so that it's more, comes out of his arm, or traditional. I like it this way actually. It looks more like the way he held it in G1. You can remove the cannon. You can plug it in either of these holes right here. You can also use this peg right here. There's nothing stopping you from doing so. You can compress the gun this way. Store it in a more compact way on his back. Like that. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 19 centimeters tall, or about 7.5 inches tall. 7.5 inches for a leader class figure. Okay. For comparisons, here he is with the Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Voyager class Megatron. Here he is with Studio Series figures from the movieverse. We've got the Bumblebee movie Soundwave, as well as the Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Studio Series Optimus Prime. Both these figures are Voyager class figures. Here he is with a couple of other leader class figures from the Generations line. We've got the Kingdom or Legacy Galvatron and the Legacy Armada Universe Megatron. Both these figures are leader class figures. Still don't know how this is a leader class figure. And finally, here he is with a couple of older figures. We've got the Voyager class Transformers Prime Optimus Prime, as well as the Transformers Animated Voyager class Optimus Prime. And again, how is this a leader class figure? And I'm pretty sure the designers are going to say, well, it's a leader class because it's a price point, and well, we put all the money in the design and the engineering, all those hinges and all of the paint, all the sculpting. That's where all the money went, so we can't really make a bigger figure and all that. Anak ng toko, kumita na yan eh. Lumang tugtugin na yan eh. Tell that to the Marines, man. I mean, we've been eating up their excuse that their figures are shrinking and they're getting exponentially more expensive each month, each year. And they say it all just went to the budget, goes to the design, all that. And I mean, okay. Oh, you're going to say, oh, because of its inflation, costs are rising. I mean, yeah, all that. Why is Hasbro the only one with inflated prices? Why are the other companies incremental inflation increase? And Hasbro is just, astronomical inflation. Now, apart from scale, probably my biggest issue with this one is transformation. The engineering they put is just over-designed. It's just over-engineered for me, and it's not a lot of fun. Let's do the easy part, the hands. Okay, what you want to do is you want to shove every single bit of those fingers inside. Otherwise, they're not going to clear the space right there in the forearm. So open up that panel. Thank you for panels, Hasbro. Very well designed. That you're covering up gaps here and there. Years ago, there'd be no panel there to cover up the fists when they... Blaster, you want to go ahead and fold it down this way. You want to pop open this back part right here. You want to just rotate this whole chest assembly up. Go ahead and rotate Megatron's head this way. And go ahead and fold it this way. The legs, I mean, there's just a lot of repetitive steps, like open and closing these panels here and there. You gotta do this, and then you're gonna close back the panels. Okay, I get it. That's part of the design. No worries. I think it's best if you just rotate the legs first, and then you do the transformation while the legs are already been rotated, okay? So go ahead and fold these up like that. Go ahead and fold them up like that. You're gonna pop the legs out. These were tight as heck. You have to pop that knee out. You're gonna fold the feet this way. This one's gonna tab right there onto the bottom of the toes. Then you're gonna fold this whole assembly back like that. Fold it up like this. And then you're gonna tab that leg right there onto the shoulder. Okay, that is a very tight joint. So nothing to complain about joints. Everything's tight and solid, but the way they engineered this darn thing. Okay, go ahead and fold. Okay. Oh, really tight. Okay, and then tab this way. Finally, the arms. The arms are like weird, really weird transformation, okay? So you want to go ahead and fold them this way and position them at an angle. That's the final resting place of those shoulders. I kid you not, they're at an angle. And then you rotate the forearm, not the bicep, okay? Just the forearm. You want to rotate them this way, rotate the turret this way, and then you combine. That's the tank mode. The concept Megatron tank mode. It kind of looks like a tank, like a brick of a tank. There are no wheels, so the tank treads are just really going to scrape your tabletop surface, and it's going to make that really, really pleasant sound when you scrape it on, okay? And then, oh, my bad, I forgot to do this. Sorry, let's not waste the engineering budget that they put on these pop-down wheels. Don't really do much, okay? I mean, They didn't have to do that. It wouldn't matter, right? The aesthetics won't change. Okay. The turret can rotate though. That's very, very cool. You can move up and down this way or this way. So turret-wise, weapon-wise, it's a cool-looking tank. But on the bottom, it's just a big mess underneath. I mean, really, that's a tank. Okay, and these angled shoulders are really bothering me. I don't know why. I'm sorry I'm being nitpicky about this figure, but like I said, the tank mode feels like an afterthought. They just figured, oh, let's just move pieces here and there and make it look like a tank. So if you wanted to, you can fit the tank mode in some of the ports with some blast effects, which is very cool. Glad they did that. And for comparisons, in tank mode, here are other Megatron tanks. We've got the Siege Megatron, as well as the Armada Universe Megatron, both in their tank modes. And yeah, leader class figures these days versus a Voyager class figure and another leader class figure. One thing to note also with these other tanks is they actually have wheels. You can have a lot of fun rolling them, while this one, you can have a lot of fun scraping your table. And here he is with Optimus Prime, in case you wanted to see how they scale up with each other. And now to transform him into his jet mode. This is probably the worst part about this figure, transforming into his jet mode in the jet mode itself. So do yourself a favor and just remove the gun at this point. You want to undo what you've done in tank mode. Just send everything back. Okay, move everything back like this. Just send everything back in place. Okay, and then go ahead and open up the arms and then fold these pieces out like that and unfurl the nose cone. And then you want to fold this entire assembly over this part right here. You want to do the double hinge first, fold that down there, fold that back down like that, and then fold the, I guess, the back part like this over his chest. And then you want to go ahead and secure the whole assembly using the arms this way. Let me just fold these out of the way. The legs, you want to rotate them this way. Let's just rotate them first because I think it's easier to transform the legs when they're already in position. You want to open up the wings. Okay, just untab the legs. And then this whole front part of the tank treads are going to unfold like this. You're going to collapse the rear tank treads. We go ahead and unfold this bit right here. Okay, and then you want the legs to go and tab onto this peg right here. So this slot right there is going to tab. Okay, once you've done that, you want to rotate here at the thighs. Then you want to fold the legs this way, unfold these pieces right here, the knee guards or the thigh guards, and then you want to tab the tank treads, this peg right here onto the back of the knee, and then this peg right here onto the back of the thighs. So just go ahead and do that. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Okay. You want to secure the thighs. You want to use these skirt pieces right here. You want to just tab and secure those thigh pieces. There's forearm pieces with the tabs right there. They're going to tab onto the sides of the thighs. So if you can do that, without necessarily dislodging the hips. So, I mean, this is the third, fourth time I'm doing this, and it's still annoying that it doesn't quite work. Okay. Okay, this one works. Okay, this one. Okay, it kind of works. Ugh. It's so annoying. Come on. Okay, all that's left is really to align the wings, and then these thigh pieces, they just stay right there. That's what the instructions say. And that is officially the jet mode. It looks like a mix of Rock Lords meets Play-Doh. That's what I'm getting here. And then the gun, you can, if you wanted to, just put it back right here. Okay, the official way says that you can peg it right here. Okay, but it just looks weird. There's like a gun turret underneath. Yeah, it could work, I suppose, but the instructions also tell you to, you can peg it on one of the holes right here. So that's official. But really, the jet will look better without that gun. Man, this thing just keeps unraveling. There's just really no way to solidify this thing. Just a horrible transformation into jet mode, and a horrible jet mode. The thing would look actually a lot nicer if you put the thigh pieces right off, way off to the side. I mean, it looks more like a bird of prey, but the official mode is really like that, and it just, I give up. I mean, this is horrible mode. And for comparisons in jet mode, here he is with leader class fellow triple changer Blitzwing. And man, that Blitzwing jet mode is looking so good compared to this concept Megatron. I mean, really. And if you're wondering whether this vehicle mode or this jet mode is blast effect compatible, there you go. The dude who was molding these thrusters had one job. Yep, that's the best I could do. No, not really. Nope. And so some final thoughts on this concept studio series Bumblebee movie Megatron. Oh man, this was really a tiring figure to review. The only thing I can see that this figure is worth is the robot mode. I mean, I think all the budget went into designing that robot mode. It's a great concept design. It's got great plastic quality. Paint apps are fantastic. Articulation is great. The whole silhouette sculpt is just phenomenal. But the whole figure is ruined by the over-engineered transformation, the lackluster, bordering on horrible alt modes of the tank mode and the jet mode. It feels so much like afterthoughts, and they were just so focused in releasing a Megatron in robot mode that epitomizes and just exudes a lot of the G1 aspects in live action format. I agree, this is how Megatron should have been, but perhaps maybe they could have maybe just given him one mode, maybe a tank mode. I think fans wouldn't have minded if he had only one mode, and that way they didn't have to do a lot of compromises with the third mode. They could have made a very good tank mode and a very good robot mode instead of making an excellent robot mode and just poor jet mode and okay tank mode. If you're not really into the movie line, you couldn't care less about a concept Megatron, I don't think this figure is for you. I don't think you should waste money on this figure. Now, if you're into the live action films, you love the Bumblebee movie, and you're really interested in a live action version of Megatron, sure, this figure is great in robot mode. You're not going to want to transform it one too many times into his alt mode. You'll probably end up just displaying him in robot mode and posing him here and there on your shelf. And with that, I mean, is it really worth spending the leader class price point for something you won't bother transforming? It's not a great figure. It's just great in robot mode, and that's it. If you're okay with that and you're willing to spend, what, 60, 80 bucks for this figure, go ahead. But if you're casually collecting the movie line, I'd say wait for this thing to go on clearance. Ross and other clearance stores are going to get their hands on this wave of figures, and they're just going to sell them for dirt cheap. So might as well just wait for that. It's certainly not worth the price of admission. I think we'll give it a 6 out of 10. The robot mode really saved this figure, but the two other alt modes of tank and jet, and just the sheer amount of frustration you're going to experience transforming this figure into any of those modes just really was a deal breaker for me. Let me know if I'm being too harsh. Hit me up in the comment section, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.